All right, well, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful September 5th morning here in Minnesota, and today is the day I head to Alaska to Geyser Ridge, which is one of the most anticipated hunts I get to do. I don't get to do it every year, but when it comes along, it's super exciting. So I thought I'd just go over kind of how I pack for the trip and the gear that I'm taking, and just kind of, if people can take away a tip from it, that's good. If not, that's fine too, but I just kind of wanted to run over everything that's going up there with me. Got to keep it kind of small, got to keep it to 50 pounds. We will be bringing in an extra gear load so I can have a little bit extra, but I like to get everything kind of compact and try not to take too much extra stuff. So the good thing about it though is we'll be dropped off, on top of the mountain, which is right near our camp. So, we don't have to do a bunch of packing in and stuff like that. So that makes it a lot nicer. But I guess where I'll start is, first thing I like to do, just in case of rain, you just never know what it's going to do out there. And sometimes when you're out there, you're stuck. So you want to do your best to try to keep all your stuff dry. And these Ziploc bags, although they're kind of chintzy and cheap, they really do a good job of keeping your gear dry, especially if you're sitting in the rain and your tent gets soaked, your sleeping bag, everything gets soaked. You can close these down and you can keep your gear dry and your clothes dry. So that can save your life at some point. So I like to stuff all my stuff in these little stuff sacks. I've got long underwear in some. I've got my toiletries. I've got socks and underwear in this pink bone collector bag. I've got all my outer gear and some of my layering stuff from Element. I've got that all in these bags here, and I've got it all in individual bags, so I know where everything's at, and then I can put it all inside of there, and it can be dry. No matter what, my stuff will be dry, and I think that's really a big key when you're headed out to the backcountry. Even if you're backpacking, you can take some of these bags. They're really light. You can compress them down. You can get all your stuff in there, and no matter what, it'll keep your stuff dry. So that's a really, really important point. Next from there, I'm going to move over to the optics. So on this trip, I'm taking my Bushnell Forge. It's a 20 to 60. This is a great spotting scope, and it's a little bit big for backpacking long distances. I do have a couple of smaller ones that I like to use, but since, like I said, we're going to be dropped off right at camp, and a lot of the glassing that we do is from camp, I like to bring this one. Then I can put my Tacticam long range LR on here, and I can video stuff from a long ways away. So that's a great tool for me. And then I've got my binoculars, my Forge 10 by 42s. These are top of the line binoculars from Bushnell, and I like those. Those are great. And then since I'm pretty much going to be bow hunting, I'll be using my 1800 rangefinder, which is a great rangefinder. Has angle range compensation, everything you need. So that's kind of my optics package right there. When it comes to my broadheads, I bring everything in these little G5 vaults. I put a little extra piece of tape on them just to keep them closed and keep them secure. So I'll bring extra broadheads, some extra lighted nocks, glory nocks, and just have everything there. Have my arrows all set up and ready to go, but I like to bring some extra stuff, obviously. And then I'll bring a bow sling. And then I like to bring just a little bit of extra tools, just in case you're out there and something goes wrong. I'll throw in this extra sight. It's a fixed pin sight, just as a backup in case something were to happen to my adjustable sight. I like to shoot a 4-pin adjustable, and it does everything I need it to do. But if something were to happen, if it were to break, if I was to snap some pins off or whatever, I've got this in my back pocket just in case. And I always like to throw one of these in on a big trip like this, because you never know what's going to happen. And of course, you'd hate to be stranded out there trying to guess, which pin or how far they are and what to do. So that's pretty key. I always throw in an extra release, couple of sets of Allen wrenches just in case of adjustments. And then I always throw in some super glue, which is pretty important. And then I've got a little pack here that T-Bone made me years ago. I always keep this in my pack. It's got all kinds of little knickknacks and things that, just in case something goes wrong out on the field and you need to make some adjustments. It's got D-loop material, it's got serving, it's got peep sights, I got a lighter in there so I can burn my D-loop and my my serving if I need to. But just a little kit, just in case something happens out there. It's good to have a little kit like that. And T-Bone set me up with that a long time ago. And then I'll bring a bunch of extra field tips and some knocks for shooting around camp. Of course, you know, I'm shooting this T-Rex from True Ball. This thing has really increased my range and made my shooting a lot better. So this is my go-to release now. For years and years, I used the Beast. In fact, for about 12, 13 years, I used this prototype model that they came up with right at the very beginning, and I've never switched out of it, and that's how good these are. This thing has been, you know, basically my best friend in the hunting world for the last 12 to 13 years, and there's a lot of horns and a lot of blood on this one, so I'm taking it as a backup. So I've got 2 releases, which is, you know, pretty important. When it comes to my knives, I like to bring several different knives with me. The Havalons are, you know, what we use the most. We've got the Bone Collector Edition. It's got the fixed blade, and then it's also got, you know, the traditional Havalon removable, replaceable blade. I'm going to be bringing the new Havalon on this one. It's a pocket knife style. It closes down. It's got the nice blade on it, and then you can sharpen that if you want to, or you can replace it. So that's a key one. And then I just bring a bunch of blades. Last time I was up there, we killed 3 moose and a grizzly bear, and I think I went through about 12 blades. So I like to bring a bunch of blades. That way you don't have to sharpen in the field. You can just pop one off, pop a new one on. The Havalons are key. They're really a great tool on hunts like this because they're small, they're light. You can always be razor sharp, and I love them a lot. So. Then of course moving on to the bow. You know, this bow right here is it just never ceases to amaze me what Hoyt's doing with their equipment, and every year it just seems to get better, and I don't know how they do it. I keep thinking to myself, how are they going to do it this year? But they always do. And this is the Ventum 33. It's just phenomenal. It's very forgiving, tough as nails, and just the best bow I've ever shot up to this point. So I love it. And I'm shooting the Arachnid Phobia arrows, 350s, tipped with the G5 dead meat, and just a great setup. You know, I can't say enough about it. I got the HHA rest on here, the Virtus rest, and you know, I'm all accessorized out with the Hoyt stabilizers, and I got my Tacticam on the front, and just a great setup. I love it. So I'm hoping to get to shoot one with my bow this year. I'm not afraid to break out the rifle if there's one that's a little bit out of range and time's getting short, but I'm going to try my best to get it with the Hoyt, and that's the most rewarding to me, so that's what I love. And then as far as footwear, I got my Thorogood boots. They're waterproof, great in the mountains. They're very stable and comfortable, got great soles on them, and I've had a lot of good luck with those Thorogoods, so I'll be taking those along. And I got another pair too that I'll throw in that are a little bit heavier and have some insulation just in case we get some snow. But these are pretty much my go-to here. So, you know, hopefully that kind of rounds everything out. Another thing that I like to do too is in the end here, I'll put all this stuff, instead of taking a duffel bag, I'll take this old seal line bag that I've had for years and years. When I used to fish in Alaska, I always put my stuff in this, and then going out into the Bering, we keep all of our stuff dry, and so I've always hung on to this bag. And so trips like this, I like this type of bag because I can stuff all my stuff in here. I can you know, compress it down, get it pretty small so it fits into the Super Cub. And not only that, is everything's dry. So if it becomes a complete downpour, everything's soaked. I've got my stuff in these dry bags, which is nice. I can put everything inside of here. I can wrap it up, and no matter what, this thing stays dry. So that's the biggest key for me on a trip like this. We're gonna be out there for as many as 14 days, and you just never know the weather. It looks like right now that the weather's gonna be pretty nice. Please, every time I've been to Geezer Ridge so far, the weather's been great and we haven't had any issues. A little bit of rain here and there. But I know in years past when Mike and the guys have been up there, they've had snow, they've had 50, 60 mile an hour winds, they've had rain. It's Alaska, so you never know what's gonna happen. So I just wanna keep my stuff dry. And if you can stay dry, you can stay warm. And so that's key. So those bags and this big bag that I'm gonna stuff everything into are key for me. And so I'll be going with Cohen Stone, our producer and main camera guy, and we're just gonna have a blast. Last year we went, I shot a huge bull with my bow. I haven't had it officially entered into the book, but it was tied for number 9, I believe, all time when I had it scored. Cohen shot a really great bull. My buddy George, who's going to be there with us this year, he shot a bull with his pistol, and then my buddy Mike shot a grizzly bear off of my carcass. So that was a really great experience, and we're just really looking forward to this year. Should be a lot of fun, and it starts today. I'm going to pack this stuff up. I'm going to stuff everything in the bag, get my bow in the case, and head to the airport. So I'll be getting into Anchorage tonight at about 6 or 6:30, and Mike will pick us up, and then we'll head to Geezer Ridge. So hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Me and old Tilly here, she's saying her goodbyes, and then we're going to get out of here. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.